Welcome to Intuitive Seek. My name is Mary Train, and as an intuitive guide, energy healer, and meditation teacher, I aim to bring you a grounded approach to all things energy and intuition. Everything I share is with the hope to help you remember how your unique power of intuition is your own greatest teacher. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Welcome back to you and to me. It's been about 3 months, almost to the day, since the last episode was published. And as some of you know, 7 days after that, my dad passed away. And it's been pretty tough, to say the least. I was one of the lucky ones that had a really, really good dad. So needless to say, it has been a rough time. And the world has also been going through quite a rough time. But I hope you haven't been. I hope you've been having a good time. So it hasn't been the best year. I could say probably the worst year of my life so far. But that's okay. This is what is happening. This is life and death and the kind of grief that I'm feeling, the waves, the intense waves of grief that come kind of out of nowhere. And then there's rest in between and lightness, and the waves ebb and then they flow again. And yeah, I'm sure I will feel like sharing more about my experience at some point once I have felt like I've really processed more of my feelings in this time and the grief. But what I do know for sure, and anyone else who's grieving, is that grief is not something to fix, not something to move past or get over. We learn how to live with it. My life is completely different. My reality has changed. And life continues to go on while also, at the same time, parallel this deep, incessant loss is with me. So I'm sure when it's time to dive in, I will. And yeah, right now, through my grief, I just haven't really reached kind of a new shore of living with it. And that shore really only comes, or the only thing that brings that shore is time. So we'll see in time. And I did start working, as some of you may know, who work with me one-on-one, who are listening, but I did go back to working with my clients in my client work at the end of March, but I didn't have the space to come back to the podcast or Instagram or my newsletter. But now I do feel like it's time to return to the podcast. I have missed it. I have missed you. Thank you for being here. I felt a real pull to get back to June, to tune in to that collective field of energy and share some energy impressions. And that's what this will be. And then I will get back to the weekly energy updates next Monday, and then more in between. But I feel very lucky, super grateful to have this kind of fresh momentum, more space in between the giant waves of grief, and yeah, just taking it, one step at a time, as they say. And before I get into the June 2025 energy impressions, I wanted to let you know also that I have resumed my live events on Insight Timer. So go to the show notes. If you have not experienced those before, they are free. And yes, you'll see on my page when the next one is. If you're listening to this on or before May 31st, on May 31st, the Saturday, I will be hosting my clearing and grounding group healing meditation. And if you haven't checked out my Insight Timer, please go. I will be uploading new meditations soon, but I have many healing meditations there, and it's free. And it's a great app. And I love doing the lives. And I'll be doing more eventually, but for now, at least 3 to 4 a month. So yes, come meditate. And then the other thing that I'm excited for in June is my next intuitive spoon bending workshop. This is where you learn the art of intuitive spoon bending, where you get to truly experience the difference between dreaming about something that feels impossible and then seeing it, that something that felt impossible, and seeing it happen right before your eyes. It is difficult to describe how impactful that change is. And yes, I really encourage you, if you have a little inkling that you want to do this, join, then sign up. If you are not around on June 21st from 12 to 2 Pacific time, when you buy your ticket, you get access to the replay for your life. So don't worry. And if you join live, which is always so much fun to do that, to do it all together, then because it is on Zoom, people that can't join live will get the replay. But if you do join live, you get to watch the replay too. Give yourself a little refresher. So in this workshop, if you haven't heard about it before, this is a workshop that I created. I got really entranced with the idea of spoon bending. I was seeing it everywhere 2 years ago. And I did a deep dive research for months on all the different ways that people were doing it. People that were doing it in more of a spiritual, metaphysical way. People that were doing it in more of a quantum physics spiritual way. In people that were using it in more of a mindset, team building way. There were so many different ways. And I found my way through learning about everyone else's ways. And the reason that I love it is it's not, as they say in The Matrix, it's not about the spoon. There is no spoon. Well, there is a spoon, but it's not about the spoon. The spoon is a mirror for your mindset. It really helps you by learning this. It helps you know, like truly feel how to trust the seeds that you plant for your life, to trust that those seeds know how to grow so you can release your attachment, release your grip on the how everything will work out, on needing to know all of the steps in between what you want to happen and what is going to happen. So this is such an incredible way to learn about you and what beliefs about yourself or stories, the energy of those running through your energy, those limitations, how you can really understand them so that you can not let them lead, where you get to release with ease because you get to see the difference in knowing something is not possible, thinking, knowing, feeling that it's not possible, and then seeing it, seeing the impossible become possible. It's so simple, but it truly bends my mind every time. And it has strengthened that depth of trust and knowing, especially with my intuition, trusting the clarity in the voice and being able to nurture myself as I keep acting on my inspirations without having that rigid belief that some things just aren't possible. Because at the beginning of the workshop, we try to bend the spoon and you can't. It is not possible, seemingly. But then through the workshop, through exercises that I created, really fun exercises, I will say, you learn how. And it's pretty cool. So if you would like to join, just go to the show notes and there'll be a link there. And yes, send me any messages of questions about it if you have any. And I can't wait to see you there, June 21st, or whenever you want to watch the replay. Okay, so yeah, let's dive in. Let's dive into June 2025, the energy impressions helping you navigate through the month ahead and trust your own intuition and your guidance and that beautiful compass that you have within that really tells you everything you need to know, but can often be clouded by so many things. So with these energy impressions, the intention is to help you remember what you need to know so that you can walk that path of your purpose for your highest good. That timeline that some people like to call it of your true highest self. And just a quick refresher for these energy impressions, I go into a really nice, deep meditation. And I have a system where I connect to the collective energy, but with the intention of whoever is meant to listen. So for the audience of Intuitive Seek, including me, and that can be now, or if you're listening years in the future, if you found this message is for you now. So as I connect in my meditation, I use my intuitive senses and I receive visuals, images, symbols, guidance, messages, and animals. And then I'm bringing you the symbolism, sharing my intuitive connection to it, but it's up to you to know what resonates. So for these energy impressions, listen, take what you need, take what resonates, and then leave everything else. Leave the rest. So for the month of June, the first thing that came through in my meditation was this beautiful scene of someone jumping over a puddle on the cement. But the puddle was reflecting a blue sky, sunlight, and a rainbow. That was in the reflection. It wasn't raining. So just back and forth, jumping, leaping over. And these big leaps, more people jumping, more people jumping. It really felt like in June, we may be seeing the light, the sun, the blue sky after the storm. Now, the puddle of water, that's still there. That has not dried out yet. The sun has not come out or been out for that long. But we're not in the puddle. We're not in the rain anymore. We are making big leaps over it. So perhaps your year up to June, if you listened at the beginning, has been similar to mine. Not great. An understatement. Not great. No. Maybe the year up to now has been an incredible trial for you. Well, June feels like a shift, a change in the wind. The storm has passed, that storm at least, and it really reminds me of the idea that storms come in and they wash away, they pick up with the wind different seeds, and then carry those seeds somewhere else. They also carry away dust and debris. There is a renewal, a refreshment that happens after an incredible storm. You can feel it in the energy, especially right after the storm has passed. So connect to that energy for June. That feels like a really key message. That if you are still staring into the puddle, if you're still standing in it, and remember, water is a symbol of the depths of our emotional landscape, of our emotional energy. So if you're still in it, that's okay. But this may be a little reminder to at least make space to look for the light, the sun, the rainbow, that it can be both and. And because of that freshness and redirection and purification that a storm can do, yes, it can cause a lot of destruction and chaos, but that's not what I saw. Because of that renewal, that regeneration, what in your life maybe feels like that you haven't paid attention to? What has been renewed that you didn't see clearly before because maybe you were really in the depth of that watery emotional self? And listen, I know that better than anyone this year, but it feels like to know that we must also remember the beauty and the new day and the sun and the rainbow, the spectrum of color and light and beauty all around us. But there was also the jump, the leap over the puddle. So connecting to, where are you feeling called to really leap? Where are you feeling called to jump, to move, to take a risk, to do something that you're afraid of? Maybe you have been preparing yourself, maybe preparing your nervous system for the past 6 months, and now it's time. And if this resonates with you in anything that I'm sharing, you can also meditate with that image. You can bring that to your mind's eye or just feel it. Seeing a puddle, seeing the reflection of the sun and the blue sky and the rainbow, and then feeling what it feels like to jump over it, and then allow it to really unfold. Use it as a jumping off point for your own intuitive exploration. And then the next thing that came in for June was this scene, but also, so the image and the feeling. So the scene of the image and really feeling it. And I may do it as I'm speaking, is the yawning. So a deep yawn. It was very visceral in the meditation. I was most likely yawning as I was feeling the yawn as well. And this felt like a message or guidance around our nervous system. Because when we're yawning, when a yawn comes, it is helping to relax our nervous system. Yes, there's more air, but it is a parasympathetic symptom, side effect. So when you're not in fight or flight, you may yawn. That's that rest and digest. When our nervous system is feeling calm and is in that renewal, restorative phase. And if you haven't tried this before, one way to do it is you can actually put your fingers on your cheekbone, maybe a little bit under your cheekbone towards your ear, and then just rub in a circular motion. If you can, use both hands. And not heavy pressure, just a soft rub, circular motions, and do that. Breathe naturally in your natural rhythm. And you'll see, I'm doing it right now, and you'll see, and I'm yawning, that a yawn comes. So if you are feeling quite stuck in not a relaxed state, take a moment to massage just under the cheekbone, towards the ear. Use your intuition, nothing too hard, just a little very light massage. And in circular motions, as you breathe, just wait until you yawn. And then do it a few more times. And then feel if there's any shift, any change. Because this is not about sleeping. This is about relaxing, calming your nervous system. And because the yawning really brought me to that, it feels like for June, that is a big focus. Paying attention and caring for your nervous system. Paying attention to your reactions, how you're feeling, and then caring for it. Making sure that if you have a strong reaction of anxiety or fear, or if you get upset, which is a beautiful mix of tons of different emotions, a lot of energy emotion, pay attention. What do you need at that moment? Or one way to do it, a little self-reflection that I like is in that moment, what is the thing that you don't want to do? What is the thing that you are resisting? Because there is part of us that, like you may think of this yawning exercise, this easy circular massage. You think of it and you go, I don't want to do that. Maybe catch that and do it anyway. Because it only takes seconds. You're not doing it for minutes. And I feel like everyone can put aside seconds, 30 seconds, to give yourself some care. So what does your nervous system need? Do you need to exercise more? Do you need to exercise less? Like really pay attention. Do you need to maybe do less socializing? Maybe give yourself more attention? Or do you need to do more socializing? Really trust yourself, but listen. Listen to yourself. And try your best to be very honest. Because if you can't be honest with yourself, if you can't laugh at how rigid or stubborn or misguided we can be, if you can't laugh at yourself with love and compassion, and then gently redirect to what you really need, then this is the month to really come back to yourself. Come back. Come back. And then the next thing that came through for June was this depth of feeling, this childlike giddiness, this extremely happy wonder. And it felt like, for June, that we may have opportunities to connect to what we really love to do, love to experience, love to have, the things that light us up, that childlike giddiness of so excited, like on the edge of your seat, pulling forward, catching your breath, can't wait giddiness. When was the last time you felt that? Or have you ever? This could be the month to reconnect to that kind of joy. And it doesn't have to be a real memory from your childhood, because not everyone has fond memories of that giddiness, excitement, glee from their childhood. So instead of going back to your childhood, connect to your inner child, to the child within, to that excitement and giddiness and glee. What do you wish you could do if you were that child now? What do you want to do more than anything? What does that child within you want? And if you have never done this type of exercise before, I definitely encourage you to do it. There is one way you can do it where, if it feels a little bit out of reach, it can be like a journaling exercise. And this is when you are writing in your journal, but as if you're talking in question and answer to your child self, to your inner child self. So you can write hi to your child self. You can say little, like I would say maybe little Mary or 8-year-old Mary, 4-year-old Mary. Like you can connect to whichever one comes, like really trust that you know. And then when you ask a question like, what makes you happy? Right immediately after that, the first thing that comes, like trust that the answers are coming back, that you have all of the answers. And this is a way for you to do it without overthinking or getting into the weeds with it or feeling like you're judging it. What am I doing? What is this? You're connecting to a part of yourself that is so wise because it's part of your vitality, of your expression, of your light and personality and enthusiasm. Like that is charged. And by connecting to that, it really feels like you will also connect to that running energy through the month of June that is available to all of us. All right. And then, quite a bit came through because June, it's a big month. So the next thing that came through was a highlight on our upper arm on the left side of our body, and a highlight of tension and tightness, almost like it's kind of wrapped around, almost like it has been wrapped to our torso to hold it stiff and still. And this feeling of the upper arm being so immobile, but by our own doing, this felt like a symbol. This did not feel like a call to your physical body. No, this is a symbol. The feeling that is connected, the spiritual, emotional link to this part of our energy in the way that it is feeling is connected to the need to control our lives and our experience, but specifically the need to control how we are being received and perceived and judged and seen. So not feeling comfortable in our own skin, wanting to control anything, wanting to have control over something that we don't have control over. You can't control how you're perceived or how you're seen. That's not for you. But it can also be a symbol of wanting to control how we receive things. So pay attention as well, if this is resonating, pay attention to how you are reacting to receiving, whether it is receiving money or love or kindness, attention, compliments, invitations. Pay attention to any time and how you react to any time that you are being asked to open up, to be seen more. Open up to be vulnerable enough to be seen and to receive. Are you not trusting the person, the people? Are you not trusting yourself to be able to hold it? This month could really bring a spotlight to that part of yourself. To what part of yourself is really feeling the need to hold back and control? How can you trust enough to let go and allow? Surrender the control. Control what you can and stop trying to control what is impossible to control. And then the animal that came through for June. Now, this animal energy is an intuitive animal that helps to guide us even more, help us remember what we may need to remember. So I'll share the symbolism and more about the parrot energy, but trust what you receive from it. What does it remind you of? What is it bringing you to? How is it resonating? And the animal for June is the parrot, a bird, which I love for Gemini season. We don't talk as much about astrology here because I really want you to connect to yourself within through everything I share instead of trying to decipher it outside of yourself. But Gemini season, which is most of June, is an air sign. A lot of energy. And the parrot, high in the trees, most of them can fly, so colorful, so energized, and their energy symbolizes the power of the sun. So the sun, again, it symbolizes healing, beauty in the everyday, remembering the beauty around us, friendship, being social, expressing yourself, sharing your voice, but also being mindful of the words that you choose. It connects to meaningful conversation, intelligence, new ideas, reaching our goals with ease, healing again, and healing through color. So some therapeutic color. And the main part of the parrot that I felt pulled to for June was how parrots are very intelligent, right? They can mimic human speech, use tools, all the things. So this month, the parrot can inspire us. When I think of mimicking human speech, the guidance feels like, for June, maybe we should pay more attention to when we are saying or thinking, using words or ideas that may not be ours, that may not be authentic, that we may be mimicking for some reason or another. So the parrot can help us remember that we need to focus on what we feel is ours to share. What we truly think, what we think, not what we are saying because we heard it, but what we actually think and what we actually know. But most importantly, what we don't know. So maybe one of the things for June is to make sure that when you don't know something, say, well, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Or I'm not sure what I think. Let me get back to you. And if you find yourself saying something and then on the tail of what you said, you feel, is that actually what I think? Is that mine? And that can also be things you say to yourself in your mind, not necessarily out loud. So we can ask ourselves in June, is this mine or something that I am parroting? It's a term for a reason. And then that color of all the different parrots and the power of the sun, and then also having the rainbow and the sun in the other at the beginning of the energy impressions, that felt like some of us may really benefit from connecting to more color this month, understanding how the color can make us feel, paying attention to how we react to certain colors, how we feel when we wear certain colors. There is some kind of common traditional thought around, blue is calm, red is energizing, but maybe remove all of that and just see what you feel because it might be different for you. For me, it makes me think of the color black or darker colors like a dark navy, and how when I wear those colors, I like them because I don't have such a reaction because color does really influence how I feel. So with black and navy, they help me feel more grounded. Some people find it more depressing or negative, but I think of it as a grounding, strengthening of my energy. And maybe you feel that too. Some people get really energized by a baby blue. Some people feel a little chaotic around a light purple. And light purple, I believe, generally is ascribed to more spiritual, intuitive. But maybe that's not how you feel. So another way to connect to you, what you feel, what you know. How is the parrot, with everything that I shared and how you feel about it and what it reminds you of, how can it inspire you this month? How can the symbolism help to guide you this month? And with any of the animals I share, if this resonates with you, piques your interest, pulls at your intuition a bit, maybe carve out some time and meditate with that energy. Bring a parrot into your mind's eye and just allow your imagination to guide you. Allow your intuition to speak, to be translated through your imagination. And allow it to open up and unfold. And you may be surprised at how that helps you, what it brings you. How can you connect to your intuition in a deeper, more unique, and clear way using yourself and your voice and your expression and your intuitive intelligence? That's what the parrot can really inspire this month. So yes, some beautiful energy for June, a real shift in energy, which I spoke about at the beginning, but I hope you're feeling that too. If you're listening to this when it comes out, we're still a few days away, so it's a good way for you to prepare. Maybe put some time aside to journal, to meditate, to visualize, to connect with yourself. And if you do like the idea of journaling, let me share some intuitive questions to help you integrate everything that we covered today. So these can be used in a traditional journal, or you can answer them in a voice note to yourself, or just kind of ruminate on them. Pick one or all, it's up to you. So for June, the first question: what big leaps are you feeling called to make? Now that that storm has passed, what big leaps are you feeling called to make that feel a bit scary, maybe too soon, not fully ready, all of the things? What is it? And be honest. Don't be superstitious. Say it even if you don't know if it's possible. And then come to my spoon bending workshop, because let's shift that mindset, okay? And number 2, how can you feel more relaxed and soothed and calm in your nervous system? What has made you feel like that in the past? And how can you bring that into June? Maybe you take that yawning exercise and put it in your calendar on your phone to do it every other day. 30 seconds. See how that changes things when you pay attention and bring yourself a bit of relaxation. And then the third thing, this is more of the exercise, but it's the one that I went over already, but definitely something, if it resonates with you, for you to do this month. So the third exercise or prompt for your journaling is spend 5 to 10 minutes, put your timer on, spend 5 to 10 minutes imagining, feeling, and talking to that enthusiastic, giddy, excited, loving child within, that little you. And write down questions, whatever question comes, and then write down the answer right away, whatever answer comes. Just keep doing it until the timer goes off, and then look and see. What did you learn? What did you remember? Was it surprising? If 5 minutes feels too long, 2 minutes. I only offer the timer because often with these types of exercises, especially when it's more intuitive and focused on ourselves, we can feel like, I don't want to spend that much time. It's the resistance again. We can feel the resistance to it, like we can't, or, well, I don't know, that feels like too much time, or I don't know how to do it. So if you at least put 2 to 5 minutes on a timer and commit to, okay, I'll do it for this amount of time. And then maybe you'll go past that time. Maybe not. Regardless, you will have done it. So at least try it if it resonates with you. It may be exactly the insight and guidance that you needed to remember for this very dynamic, change of the wind, shifting month ahead. But shifting for the greater good. That's what it feels like. And that can happen within the chaos. It tends to. So yes, I hope that some of these, or all of them, or just a few, I hope that these energy impressions really resonated with you. I hope you found them helpful. And thank you for listening and allowing me to share them with you. Thank you for being here and witnessing and holding space, even though we can't see each other. You held space for me today as I talked about my dad. And thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Intuitive Seek. We are back. I would love, as always, absolutely love to hear if you resonated with the energy that I'm feeling, if you connected to it, if you want to share how you feel about it. Any thoughts or questions, please do not hesitate to send me a message. You can do it through my website at treenlight.com. You can message me on Instagram at treenlight.healing. I'm not posting on there right now, but I will do my best to check it. And make sure that you check out the show notes where you can sign up for the Art of Intuitive Spoon Bending on June 21st, and you can explore all the ways that my intuitive energy healing work could support you. And yes, hugely appreciated if you follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you feel called to give a bit of extra support, then yes, please share this episode with a friend, or you could leave a review. That would be incredible. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you again so much for being here. Be extra kind to yourself, and I will talk to you next week.
Hi, Auntie Mary. I just wanted to say something very, very meaningful. Cat.